Hey everybody, my name is Gio Perez. I want to thank you for tuning into our show. Today I have Rafael Alderete here with us. How are you, sir?
All right, yeah.
And we have Stephen Reich also here. And you know what? We have a question. How is MMA affecting traditional styles of martial arts? Is it affecting traditional martial arts? You guys, what do you guys think?
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Yes. I definitely do think it is affecting. I mean, you can't stick to one anymore. You have to know a little bit of everything if you're going to last in MMA today.
Right, but you're talking, let's say, as a competitor, or are you talking about just practical practice? You know, because let's say if you're a competitor, of course, you're going to have to learn every little style, because when people are, stepping into the ring, they're not just stepping in with one style anymore. Let's talk about Ronda's fight, where she lost. I mean, she's traditionally
she's trying to outbox a boxer.
Yeah, she's trying to outbox. And that's kind of, to me, that's kind of dumb. It's kind of stupid. I think she should have stayed with her game, and she should have, try to figure out.
Or at least once it stopped working, she should have.
Yeah, it's like she
switched it.
Yeah, she was. I don't know what she was trying to prove. I think she, and she was working with different types of coaches, but she was trying to become that championship.
She wouldn't let it
boxer.
go. Yeah. She kept.
No, she wanted to beat her at her game, and that's the problem. I think she should have been adapting the other girl's game into her game, so she was able to win that fight.
I think, to me, and that particular, just going into the topic a little bit, I think that she was distracted with all her glamorous lifestyle she has outside. I think it's very difficult for her to focus on the fighting game.
She was buying into her own hype.
Yeah, when she's thinking movies and this and that other way of making living.
Well, that happens to every fighter.
I think it does. Yeah.
But I don't think I think it had to do with styles. I mean, maybe a little bit of what her life was going through that time, but it still had to do a lot about the styles that they were dealing with. Because she's not even though she probably had a coach teaching her how to do boxing, kickboxing. I mean, how could you, let's say most of her fights, think about it this way, you're a coach, and you see most of her fights, she's won by submission.
Yes.
And then you look at the other girl, most of her fights, she's won by knockout.
Yeah.
By knockout.
Exactly.
How are you going to adapt? Why would you fight somebody that has won so many fights that way? I mean, if I'm your coach, and I'm going to send him to fight, why would I send her to go fight that way with somebody that has been knocking out people that way?
That's pretty stupid. I think I would have polished it more on her ground style.
Right, that's what I would have said. It's like, you know what we need to do is get this girl on the floor.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's it. Take her natural weapons away. Yeah.
It's like what they say, a shark on the land is not as dangerous as when you're in the water.
You got to get her in the water.
That is true.
That's when it goes.
That's what jiu-jitsu people say, though. Yeah.
Same thing. Now let's go back. Is MMA actually affecting other arts? I think so. I think other martial arts are looking, because, this is, you're talking about something that all the martial arts are looking at. You look at a fight, you look at MMA, you look at different people practicing styles, looking at it now. So it's a mainstream thing. So when they look at it, let's say if I'm practicing a very traditional art, then I'm looking at it, it's like, ooh, I have to adapt these things. But they're thinking that way because it's being brought to you. It's coming into you. But I would say it's good if you're a competitor, then yes. But if you're practicing a traditional art, why? You're not going to go out and fight.
It's what Bruce Lee used to talk about that all the time.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But I think it is a different mindset.
Yeah.
Altogether, practicing traditional martial art to go compete into a traditional martial art tournament, then practicing MMA, which include many styles, if you can get to master all of them, and then go and compete in MMA, where now you're getting hit for real. You're going to get, arms snapped off, and even maybe your neck broken,
Right.
Yeah, but I think that's the attitude how they train is different, though. I, as a traditional martial artist, I used to go to the mountain for example, and spend good time one-on-one with me, and kind of refine, my moves, my forms, things like that, or meditate.
You meditate, focus.
Exactly, and focus. So I wonder, nowadays, the MMA fighter, I think it had different mind.
Yeah, they don't go that deep.
Exactly. They don't go, I feel, they don't go that deep. I've seen some fighters, just like our jiu-jitsu professor, Alberto Crane. You know, that guy, man, he's very spiritual. So, you know, I see him, you know, training, and he gets into the mode, even though he's not traditional karate fighter, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of a conflict of what I was taught.
Yeah, exactly.
The MMA mentality of this, you know, getting in each other's face and being very disrespectful. You know, and like I always thought of martial arts as the respect business. You know, they teach you,
and I think
respect,
it still is, though.
You know,
it is. I think that's more for sure.
It's but I don't like it.
Well, it brings the wrong message, because if you look at it, we were talking about earlier of that. We talk with any average guy on the street, and they all have knowledge about MMA. They're either because of YouTube or whatever it is. And if you're going to fight one of those guys, somehow they have some knowledge. They may not have practical knowledge, but they have it, you know, because they watched it. And that brings a conflict, doesn't it? Okay. But what happens there, that if they looked at videos with traditional martial art, you know, maybe they could get contagious on the way we think, you know, positive peaceful, positive, you know, positive. I mean, we are pacifists. We love philosophy. We're very spiritual, things of that nature, and we try to avoid fight all the time. We don't have that aggressive approach or whatever.
I mean, I think there's a point in your life where, you know, you're trying to do things on your own, and you get to a point where you're actually, you know, you kind of surrender yourself.
Yes.
And you become like this, a little bit more spiritual in a way,
I am that way.
You know, that you're trying to find yourself, who you are.
Yes.
And that's the question. I mean, when we're born, it's like the question, hey, who are you, man?
Right.
Who are we? Who are you?
Yeah.
So I think there's a point where you get to your life where you're like, you start questioning that. Who am I?
You know,
I think so.
You know, that bring a good point. I'm just going to bring back some memories. I remember when I was like white belt, yellow belt, you know, and green belt. Back then, in my country, our teacher used to put us against 3-4 guys, you know, sparring, right? So I thought that was the way of martial art, you know, it was just like being in the middle of a conflict, and you're just gonna have to do whatever it takes to survive. But it took a little bit later when I started going up in belt, and now I started getting instruction one-on-one with him,
right?
To where now he will apply philosophy with me, where he will apply meditation with me, things that at the lower belt you were not taught. Now the mentality started changing. Somehow I changed that aggressive approach that I have created for a little bit,
right? And
then it kind of set me back, and it's like, you know, you got to look at fight now in a different way.
Sure.
You know, and I remember my ex-wife, she used to say to me, "Oh, you know, that's all you do is kick and punch," and I said, "No. It's not about kick and punch.
It goes deeper.
It goes deeper than that, you know, and that's really, you know what, here we're not to judge the MMA fighters, you know, because I'm sure there are some guys there that are really good, they're very strong spiritually. I think that it is a conflict of how we practice, how they practice.
Right. But if you want to be the last man standing, you got to adapt.
Well, exactly. If you got to be the last man standing, I think I kudos their approach, right? But if you want to be just that guy that wants to oversee the world in a peaceful, way, then again, I guess I'm going to go.
Or learn about the other cultures.
Exactly.
Because a lot of those martial arts are representative of the culture, you know, Kali's,
they are, like wherever it's coming from.
Kali's, Philippines.
Right.
Yes.
But when it comes to MMA, those things are disappearing.
I think MMA is becoming this mixture.
Well, it is. I mean, when we started seeing UFC fights starting out, you saw different styles coming in. Yeah. Not the best of the actual style representing, you know? It's like, you know, you didn't see the best. I mean,
that was the problem I had with it. Right. I wanted to see, let's see what style. Yeah. Why is jiu-jitsu better than karate, traditional karate?
I think that's always gonna be our fantasy, because we grew up watching video games
and movies.
Yeah, you know,
well,
you're trying to see this.
You did, I mean.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is, there's a fetish of everybody wanting to see that.
Yes.
But now all you see is MMA fighters fighting MMA fighters. You might be stronger in a certain side of practice, but it's pretty much you're looking at the same styles.
Right.
You're not having somebody that's a master in certain come in and just do that. You're not seeing that anymore.
Well, you remember that guy, well, there was two guys that really sticks into my mind. Ron Van Cliff, you know, 10-degree black belt. He was a very well-known fighter.
Black Dragon.
He was very well-known fighter in the Long Beach tournament, things like that. Traditional, you know, martial art. He got into there, he got whipped. Although
he was already old, too.
Exactly.
He was
but then the other guy that stick to me in my head was the boxer. The boxer that came in, you know, trying to show that he was powerful in one hand. So he came in with one boxing glove, the other one was empty-handed. A jiu-jitsu guy got him, you know, Roy Gracie. In fact, he just sat on top of him, and that's it.
I forgot about that.
You know? And
wait, talking about MMA, do you think MMA got started after somebody watched Best of the Best 2? You know, they started watching the fights inside, you know, like the
Coliseum.
Yeah, the Coliseum. They saw different guys fighting.
I think that Bruce Lee had nailed it. He had hit it right. He nailed it in the head. Because it was his dream. He was a visionary. So it just happened that because of the short time life he had, somebody else came, I believe the Gracie family, were very smart. And then now they said, okay, now, you know what, let's really prove this, let's
improve on what he started.
Exactly, and really what he saw. And you know what, though, he was right, man. Yeah. He was really right. You know, this is the world of open styles to where people now, you train harder than the other, and you will overcome. Right. But obviously,
Royce Gracie beat a lot of bigger guys, and all he did was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yes. But because they didn't have technique.
Obviously.
Right. But now you see guys that have technique, have a little bit of technique, but they're also building up strength.
That's so true. Yeah.
That puts a different.
They're looking pretty big.
Different level of it.
Yes. I said back then, it's kind of like any mathematical formula. You know, you have a formula, and it's going to take you a little while to figure it out, but you will. Okay, I think what happened with martial arts is the same thing. Back then, Jiu-Jitsu was unknown. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was unknown to a lot of people, other than the Brazilian people.
Right.
So what happened when they started implementing it here? Even the Greco-Roman wrestler who was so used to fighting almost the same way, they were getting beaten. But what happened? Soon enough, people start learning and really coming out with that equation. So nowadays,
it's mainstream.
Exactly.
It's mainstream.
Yeah. Now everybody knows the formula.
Systems.
Exactly.
It's a big system.
But the formula is now you have to know boxing, you have to know jiu-jitsu, you have to know Muay Thai. You have to know.
Yeah, you have to know a little bit of it.
Otherwise, you will.
If you want to be an MMA fighter,
right? You have to know.
You have to know.
Mixed is the key word.
You have to know.
You'll see the new champion. What's McGregor? You'll see him.
Yeah.
He knows. He actually gets into it.
But you see, he's a very good promoter.
He's a good promoter, but it's not what you like because he actually talks a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
He's very.
He's very respectful.
Yeah,
he sure is.
Well, you mentioned Fight Quest, and it did. Watching that show, and you'd see them go to the different countries and learning a pure style in that country, where the claim, the fame, that's where they originated from. And there's just something really neat, and how it's just like Shotokan is really part of the Japanese culture.
Oh my lord!
It's a huge thing, and here it's just a component in the mixed martial art.
Kyokushin karate, remember that?
Kyokushin, Masoyama, my old teacher loved it.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that was a crazy episode.
Yeah, that was the first bare knuckle tournaments.
But always keep in mind that this guy in this program, he was an MMA fighter, and look, he went and tested everybody with their pure style.
Right.
And he had a hard time with a lot of them.
Oh, he did.
Muay Thai fighters,
he did.
Silat fighters, and even Krav Maga fighters.
And some of those guys are never like some of those guys that might be at that top level. You know what? Their mind is totally. They're not gonna. They have not been infected with the idea of actually going out and fight. You know,
the macho man.
They don't need it. It's not even that. It also has to do with money too. You know, they're not affected by that. They're, you know,
true.
Yeah, there's some, you know, like I'm telling you, it's like they'll do it, but they don't have to. You know, they don't. They don't want to do it. What for?
Will it be fair to say then that it's not so much that the MMA have affected the traditional martial art, but money has affected all of it. Has affected all of it because MMA do it because of the money. You know, granted that
my buddy and I used to say,
how much would somebody have to pay you to actually get in the ring right now?
Right now?
Yeah.
You know, just call the numbers. I go for it.
Just raise it up.
No,
somebody calls you and says, you know what, we want to fight you for $1 million.
Exactly.
I'll think about it.
I'm 60-year-old man. I'm in my spiritual,
How about if Van Cleef says he'll fight you?
I'll fight him.
Black Dragon.
I'll fight him. He's actually
Black Dragon versus the Argentinian.
He's actually a legend, man.
Yeah. What's your price?
But he's actually a great man. He has my great respect.
He's a good respect. Yeah, I've watched him. I've also watched him. And
great person. Great person.
And he, you know what? For his age, when he walked into that ring, it's like, whoa,
every requires a lot of guts, man.
He's got cut up, man. That guy's cut.
Also, too. Yes. But you know what? You needed to believe in yourself in a particular way in order for you to go into the unknown.
That's true.
That was the unknown for a lot of people.
That was the test.
You know?
Yeah.
Back to the question. Is MMA affecting traditionals? Are traditional martial arts going to disappear in the future?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah. Especially considering that there are countries where they reign supreme. You know?
Okay.
Can they change?
Yeah. Well,
I think they will change.
I think it's kind of inevitable.
It's changing.
Yeah.
You know, because you have a certain mentality. So the guys actually growing up right now, practicing, like they're little kids right now, practicing martial arts right now.
Yeah.
And they're looking at what's happening. And they'll look at, I'm learning certain style. And they'll look at what's happening. And they'll come up and it's like anything. They'll revel against their masters or whatever it is.
Right.
And then they'll start adapting their own little style.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true.
I think it's actually...
So it will change. You know, names change. I mean, Hapkido was not known Hapkido till, you know, the 40s. But before that, it was named something else. So I think it will change.
And I think the money is definitely,
money,
you know, that's going to bring the best.
Money,
you know, back in the day, we're like, well, why aren't they getting better fighters against
they're paying good,
and
man,
it's they are now. But when it started, the prizes weren't that big in the UFC.
Because now they're sharp. They have sharp.
It's like $10,000. You're not going to get a lot of guys.
So once you see these fighters sharpen up, of course you're going to pay money because now you're going to have.
Well, now you can make a lot of money.
I think that there is one fight. I don't recall the name of the tournament, which I like. I think it's Shutokan probably. That they do like 3 rounds: 1 boxing, 1 kickboxing, and 1 ground.
Right.
You know, and it's all full out. Right. You got to go 3 rounds or 3 minutes. You know, of boxing, 3 rounds or 3 minutes. Kickboxing, 3 rounds, 3 minutes of ground fighting. It all amounts to be like 10 rounds.
You know, we should do the same thing.
Yeah.
But we'll do like, you do 1 round of boxing, the other guy does 1 round of kickboxing, and then you switch it off.
I mean,
and then like every round, it's like, okay, now you can only grapple, and I'll only kickbox. So,
oh my God, that's
it might be very
could be something, could be nothing.
Well, anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and do me a favor, why don't you comment down below, let us know what you think about MMA and if it's changing traditional styles now. And don't forget to subscribe to Like Water Productions at YouTube. And you can also find Rafael Alderete at
alderetefightingacademy gmail.com.
Good, awesome. And you can also follow me or find me at LAMAfighters.com. And talk to you guys soon.
All right.